and holding up the team. Hajime needs to, we need to see some more from him.
All right, let's see which map we're going to be playing on. Our lobby's ready. We're going to toss it over in just a moment. Just curious to see. And it's Oregon again. All right, we're going back to the normal system here. Fnatic banning out Clubhouse very, very quickly. James, who takes Oregon?
It's a rematch of the first Playday, second Playday, and Fnatic took that 7-5. I'm going to go Fnatic again. Let's say 7-5.
Gio.
I'm going to have to agree. I don't see any reason to believe that QCon have majestically fixed everything.
All right, let's toss it over to our casters. Captain Fluke, all yours. Captain, my captain.
Thank you, my what's the word for someone that isn't a captain? Sailor. Thank you, Sailor Milosh. It's a pleasure to be here. We're about to go in to Fnatic versus QConfirm. Just referred to himself as Sailor Moon before he slipped out of the call and comms there. So if any artists are listening, please, Magical Girl Milosh. Talking of magic, QConfirm. You got to try and do some tricks right now to stop this Fnatic.
Gonna push up some tricks indeed. As QConfirm is battling to stay inside of APAC, whilst Fnatic still has an opportunity to be reaching the majors. That's how close it is here in APAC as well. There's a lot still on the line for either of these teams. Fnatic had a rough start, but they're starting to climb back up. The question is, after a bit of a slip up, are they going to be able to continue that journey now? Whilst QConfirm, as said before, they're hoping to survive. They're hoping to not be relegated out.
Isn't that everybody's hopes and dreams, really, at the end of the day? To make sure you don't get...
BDS, not really.
What, okay. BDS...
Giants, that, you know, they're not scared of being relegated.
Yeah, I think everybody's still got it as a fear. It's like, you know, I'm not scared of being murdered by monsters, but I'm, you know, not Scooby-Dooing around. Hey, quick bans and quick play back to Oregon. Monty off the board from Fnatic. That's a standard removal.
So indeed a standard one. It comes down more and more. Maybe a Clash will be joining as well right now because we know how impactful it can be. There we have it. Clash removed off the board, and then the last one will be coming in from QConfirm. Now that can be a Kaid considering the Thatcher is banned. It's a pain in the butt to
I'm glad
to deal with the Electric Claws.
I'm glad you're not swearing anymore.
I was like, different word. But yeah, gotta deal with the Electric Claws otherwise. Yeah, oh no, Maestro. Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, so we have Electric Claws. They will be there.
Yeah, I mean that's off the board as well. It's gonna. I mean they're a little bit trickier to get through, but with the shields, what it does and pulls out of QConfirm's arsenal is the inability to push themselves through onto places like blue. You're looking at a team that likes to occasionally lead with the shield and just push and pressure themselves against these pretty decent gun teams. And, well, Fnatic, they're a very good gun team. When they can pop off, they pop beyond what is expected anywhere, anytime. The unfortunate nature at the minute is they just haven't really been able to find the consistency that's required to keep putting those points on the board. Lost in mid-table obscurity for now, but a team that is more than capable of careening their way back to the top.
We'll see if they will creep their way back to the top, or if they will fall. Skies. As shields being set up, seems we're starting on that top floor. The kids' bedrooms. Question is who's going to be put to sleep here today. Will it be QConfirm or Fnatic to lose out on that first round? Of course, Oregon, defense side of the map to some extent, but every single time I mention that, it suddenly turns into an attack side of the map. You know, it's like we casters have the opportunity to literally curse just everything, and it doesn't matter if what we say is statistically correct. When we say it, it will be proven incorrectly afterwards. So yeah, it's you know.
I guess I don't want to go back to Spooky Month, because we did that last time. Last week we were on APAC, I started talking about werewolves and a whole manner of things. Now we're talking about curses, you know?
I don't even get to werewolves.
Let's not start that again. It's Halloween this month. Happy Halloween month. Happy Spooky Month, everybody.
Oh well, T3 present is there, Hajime. will be playing inside Tower 3 or Tier 3, or, you know, that's what it stands for, and that means they will have to try and clear it, because otherwise you're not going to be able to open up the attic. However, he is prone, and that means you need to get a drone in on the top floor, otherwise you're not going to be able to actually spot out Hajime. And as long as he stays here, the attic will be in control of the QConfirm side, and we all know how important the attic is. As Mentalist now starts droning, probably will still think that no one is inside of tower. Might come back to them in the back. Are they aware? It seems like they are. They are holding it. But is there a drone on him?
I think they don't have immediate eyes, but they probably have the idea that someone's headed up, and they're hoping that he doesn't have eyes on them, I believe. They want Hajime to apply some pressure onto a window so they can cut them in half. But the longer they wait for that, well, it's down to Hajime to just hold back, hold off, and kind of say, no, I'm going to stay here for as long as I want. So it can work against some hyper-aggressive teams that aren't quite paying attention. Here, though, now it's just, well, Mentalist is still generally holding towards, dug in behind the chimney, but otherwise, how long is Valk going to sit up there, and when can they actually get punished? Because this is what's happening. Lysolis is having pressure applied whilst he's stuck inside the site, Lycolis even, and well, the drones are working their way up steadily on the combination of White and the main stairs. Here comes some of the pressure towards the site itself, with Healthcare and Valk still off site and still off position. They're coming in closer, and there's the first, rotated down the tower stairs, left to their own devices, and with the second coming from a C4, suddenly Fnatic found themselves on the back foot of the body count.
I was going to say, you got to make sure that you're not staying up too long, because otherwise you will be hurting the rest of your team, as well Fnatic clearly seem to be ignoring the entirety of the tower. Hajime jumping down, getting that kill onto Lusty, removes some of the vertical pressure that was there, and that means only the buck of Mag now has to be removed, as well, the last two members of Fnatic will be playing horizontally. One from the master bedroom in the walk-in closet, and the other one from the big window, just putting down some pressure, as you just saw Rodini getting taken out. Yes, they have an opportunity here to go for a crossfire, but not going to be able to cover literally everything. And as I say, that both Mag and Mentalist will be able to pick up a huge kill. And suddenly, we find ourselves in a 2-on-2 situation where Lycolis comes in huge. It's going to be able to go for the second kill as well from the top of the white stairs, as Mag will fall. And it's all up to Styx now. Decides to go for the plant. The question is, will they push? A C4 pops, forces Styx to go off, and that means he has to go for frags now. One gets caught off as he runs past, but Producer Boom is there to secure the round. And QConfirm will be able to win the top floor.
Started with a bit of misinformation and misplay around the roll of the Valkyrie onto the top of the tower. They played a waiting game, as they said, and we saw, but unfortunately they waited for the wrong result. Well played from Hajime to not go for the window and instead go back in through the building. Take the intel and information that somebody is playing around the kitchen area. You have the patience and pace to be able to strike from the back, so here we go. That's how the result started. Obviously, it started to pull back as well, but when you lose your pressure from underneath, it forces you into a more uncomfortable situation of how you can try and force your way through into the site. Pulls you out of position that you're otherwise desperately trying to hold and makes you have to be a little bit on the back foot. As soon as you lose that momentum in this game, things can very quickly turn a little bit icy. Laundry and supply is where we're going to head to next. In some regards, it's a little bit easier to have a more attentive clear and a more attentive cover to where your opponents might be playing. Two bodies were on the roam for the defenders last time round, and I'm curious to see if we see as big an extension here. Obviously, you have the possibility of playing the Jaeger of Healthcare away, which he does quite frequently. You've also still got, obviously, Valkyrie on the board, but this time in the hands of Producer Boom.
Talking about Icy as well, my question is, how much pressure will be going into Freezer? Will we see shield setups coming through here? Will we see the hatch being reinforced at all? Yes, that one has been reinforced, because what we see more often is that attackers actually put some pressure into Freezer to evenly entire takes being revolved around Freezer. Haven't been super successful yet, but it can still make or break an attack if you manage to get the crossfire out, because you basically cut down the entire laundry side of things. This is a spawn peek here from Healthcare. He's going to be doing a bit of damage to Lusty, but not eventually get that kill.
Well, Healthcare's trying to strike as quickly as he can. We also saw Hajime prepping some windows for potential runouts on the opposite side as well. Called two players on the roam, called them the wrong way round, apparently. And I guess it makes a bit more sense. It allows Kaid, if he does want to be around that side, to pull back towards Freezer, get control of the kind of historic. Big solid walls on that side, whilst the rest is often protected by guns. You can see that Fnatic is all attentive, all focused towards this blue push. Drones working their way down the bottom of the stairs past Harry Potter. Nobody is holding the angle, and the Claymore's just going to try and catch anybody that swings a little bit further up. It buys them some cover. As I said, this site is probably a little bit easier to have an angle and have a bit more control on. It's a little bit tougher for the Roamers to strike as fervently and isolated as they were, but why do they need to when they just strike through the hatch like that?
That is one of your heart breaches gone. The one that was supposed to do the most work here with all the hatches that are open up, and now that leaves Tex at only being able to open up one hatch with the 2 Selmas, and then use the last one to open up a piece of a wall. But it looks like a rotate will be called, and a complete push from the blue or elbow will be coming down, or at least the pressure will have to come from that together with the main stairs. Just now shields are being taken down, hoping to, well, basically put some pressure onto the boiler room. There's still the complete elbow in control of QConfirm with a smoke playing behind that shield. Is going to be able to just smoke out for another 30 seconds. Fnatic, they need to be quick.
Well, they're concerned as they pull their way slightly further away from the push. Roldini is going for potentially a pull around the back, but Hajime doesn't even care as he gets another 2 for the tally. Finally shut down by Mag, swinging on and putting bullets towards the default plant spot, but the boldness of QConfirm is really leaning into the gun skill here. There's another pick, but a balance back. It's only down to Stigs right now. Twice in a row we've seen him as the final body on the board. And this time it's in a much worse situation, but with a lot more time. We can see a body on the top 2. It looks like they're reinforcing the doors of laundry on the opposite side. They're making sure they know exactly where he's coming from, but the Banshee's going to cry out a song and give the game away anyway. 3 different bodies, 3 different angles, 3 different potential ways to die. But it's probably only going to end one way. Slow creep and crawl catches the first. Now has the other 2 on the backside, but with only 15 seconds left, they do not really have to push and apply the pressure themselves. They assume the intel will come through and go out. There's the first into the corridor. The second is in freezer, waiting to swing on. But with only 4 seconds, he's going to have to try and stick it. If he does, well, he's gone the wrong way. Oh, no! Second time in a row we've had Stigs as the last alive in a seeming 1 versus 1 with no time to make it work.
Almost managed to get that 1v3 going for him. Managed to pick up 2. Turned it into that 1v1, but they had no information on the last person. If he would have known he was in the vault, surely that would have been a swing to come through. But of course there was no drone there to confirm. And then there's 2 options. Either they are near boiler or near the back stairs, or they are in the freezer. And it's a 50-50 at that point. Which one are you going to be putting your money on? And it seemed to be the back side. And it wasn't there. That means QConfirm able to win that round. Now will be forced to go to the offsite as they managed to win the previous 2. Set rotation is set onto 3. And that means that Meeting Hall Kitchen is coming out right now. A site where we often see an extension into these showers. Yeah, that's showers indeed. Oh no, actually, not this one. That's the other one. That's dining kitchen. Never mind. Got it all wrong. Okay. Often here we see security extension though. That's the thing.
Yeah, you do. Obviously, when we get to the argument of the 3rd site on this map in the 3rd place, you can kind of make your own setup. You're looking at a bit of a toss-up, really. A lot of teams will opt to, obviously, as you said, extend into the showers holes and play on that side instead. Meeting becomes a little bit of an afterthought for some teams in terms of their roster and setup, but here, the big extensions are coming out over the top of Attic. You can see the pre-placed drone there as well, so I'm assuming quick tower control and a balanced kind of bastion knock against this wall on this side is probably going to be their course of action. Not really applying the pressure onto Kitchen, because Meeting is generally seen as the easier one to crack open between these 2.
Meeting indeed. Like often you just open up the back wall stage, and after that it suddenly goes really quickly, right? Because you open up the hatch in Attic as well. You manage to basically get a vertical line of sight of many points in the map. And then it turns to become a really, really hard side to take, because how are you going to be dealing with attackers that basically have a complete line of sight? They have the opportunity to plant in a safe spot as well. Like, what do you do at that point? There's not much you can do other than trying to go for a retake, trying to go for some bold strategies, some bold plays. But it's not always the thing you would like to attempt either.
A little bit of a slow here, as I think one of the things we've kind of noticed from Fnatic's game is a lack of intel and information. It's cost them a couple of times so far, once at the start of the first round and towards the end of the second. Now, they want to play it a little bit more with a little bit more. They're steady, slow, trying to catch out the bodies before they start their press and push towards the site this time. It's obviously a lot more time consuming than what they were working on before, but they're currently working on 2 losses, and for the first time, they have the opening kill under their side. Now, they're going for a more steady collapse on the top floor here, and they're making sure that they've got this entirely cleansed with Rodini playing onto the attic. The flash is just going to start coming towards them. They have the bulletproof to offer a little bit more intel back against them if anyone puts the pressure on the split side, but with Producer Boom rotating round on the opposite of the tower, and potentially that mute with a C4 underneath, you could be looking at a bit of a problem. Or the mute with a shotgun, either way.
Shotgun, of course, if you have the yellow pings coming through, could be coming in huge as Rodini picks up the first kill, goes for the second, gets it down as well. That is Mac down, goes for the triple with the pistol, somehow manages to succeed and put itself back in the back of attic. And we just said how important it is to have that attic control for the attacks, because you want to have the hatch available to you, because it allows you to shut down the complete side of meeting so you can get a quick stage plan. But there is still a Rodini playing there, a magician you can almost call him, as he manages to pick up those 3 kills. And it's a very quick round here from QConfirm. Fnatic absolutely shut down.
It was, and obviously 3 bodies falling inside attic, having a huge amount of loss in a very quick space of time on a body that you should usually be able to just swing against. It's these kind of lost moments and situations, which obviously we've seen slip out of their fingers time and time again. It's a sad story for Fnatic because we know what they're capable of, and it started strong. It started with a great pull apart and a pick of what else was going on, but it's just the second time in a row we've seen a player from the side of QConfirm just lock down a triple kill. Hajime with the Kaid in the round before, Aldini just set up top in attic that time too. It seems like QConfirm, they're playing a little bit of the juggling of the operators too. So it doesn't really matter how well people are doing. Let's just swap it out and play on something else either way.
The element of surprise do not become predictable. It is a game that often works against very methodical teams, because they will be prepping for you. They will be watching your playstyle. They'll be finding out, okay, this is normally what they do. And if you manage to stay unpredictable, if you keep on swapping roles, swapping players into different positions, swapping operators, even bring different gadgets, you might basically hinder their preparation a little bit, which puts you into the driver's seat of that game, because you can decide how you will be manipulating their playstyle by bringing different gadgets, forcing them to play different kind of games every single round over and over again. Like, you could be going for a Lamai and Jaeger combo. Suddenly they will have to focus on clearing out all the ADSs before they can deal with shields, for example. Or you could go for a Mozzie Mute the next round and make sure that your roamers are going to be pretty safe and there's no information they can get. Like, just keep forcing them to play different kind of games, keep forcing them to solve different kinds of puzzles. And very methodical teams that prepare a certain way on a certain playstyle might struggle with that.
One of the struggles that we've seen coming through from Fnatic so far has been the breaking down of trying to stop a single player popping off. It is the hardest thing often to solve in a game of Siege, is if they are having these big days where they're having these big moments, being able to capitalize upon it is often very tough. There's a start. Styx goes first off the board for one of the first times, but Hajime joins them. But look at this, Lycolis steps into and finds a second. And it's actually, they weren't dropped. It was somebody else on the other side. Lycolis was able to take the first gunfight successfully and then find a second on the same window. It's these little moments that are leading to big blows. And seemingly QConfirm have come in this wanting to frequently be one step ahead on the firefights. And how do you stop them right now? Doesn't get the mute jammer. Tries to get anybody else that might be playing close and no one's there, so they're just going to try and pull it out anyway.
The mute jammer doesn't really matter at this point because it's the only heart breacher left, and you know, you still have that blow touch to work with. There's nothing else really. And what do you do to match this aggression that QConfirm brings every single round? They just repick, they're not stopping. And as the head gets spotted out, it's another quad kill now for Lycolis. Is he going to be able to go for the ace? However, that is the big question. Is he going to be able to mark it off with a, well, miraculous 5k?
No, is the quick answer as Lusty makes work of it. But the man's already got a 4k this round and he's 7-2. He is doing more than enough, I think it's fair to say. And again, it's another person who's had another pop-off round from the sides of QConfirm. Their method of juggling ops and operators, it's a confusing one for a lot of teams who build a synergy and live and try and thrive amongst it. But so far, as we see another round go their way, QConfirm, they're thriving in it. That is another setup. Okay, it's maybe the one person who doesn't frequently change their operator, Healthcare Jaeger. That's a pair that seems to have a lot of success. But otherwise, you know, it's kind of just a tombola of what number are you going to pill? Okay, well, I'm going to play Kaid this time.
The aggression they bring, and like they just completely basically disassemble Fnatic's playstyle, because they just get these aggressive picks of places that you probably don't expect, and times you probably don't expect them to peek a window, and it's just pure chaos. And Fnatic is struggling to figure out what to do against it, because I mean, yes, you can go and frag back, but if QConfirm plays this game more aggressively, then you can. Well, you see Fnatic struggle right now. It's a 4-on-0 so far. It could be ending up on a 6-0 if they continue this current streak. Yes, a couple of rounds did get very close, but on the back of not being able to find the right people at the right time, QConfirm managed to win it the last time around here. And let's see if they can do that a little bit better now. They're going to be able to make sure that they do not toss a 1v3 situation, but all the way back to a 1v1. Because even though they are 0-4 up, there is still things they can learn from. It's not like they have been completely flawless in their aggression and in their game, because there's plenty of moments you can say, like, you probably don't want to do this if you want to be winning this matchup.
QConfirm seem to just lean in to gunfights when they happen. They're not entirely throwing themselves mobily and aggressively around the map. They're happy to let some of the positions be held for a while and then say, okay, hit us here. But something that you seem to notice quite frequently is when they are, you know, within a second of a firefight happening, they'll move into it. They'll try and lean in to the opening affray, and it leads to things like that. Lusty takes a huge amount of damage from the pre-fire through the wall, the door even. The same one that happened the last time they were down here. An exact same pre-fire and positioning has yet again befallen and struck Fnatic before they can even start really rolling into the site and do some damage itself. It's this consistent little biting, little aggression, little overstepping that's slightly pulling out of Fnatic's attempted slow, steady control game.
Lusty, as you said, really low. We'll have to deal with that for the remainder of this round. And keep in mind, the last time it was Mentalist opening up a hatch and meeting when suddenly a C4 came through. However, this time it's Healthcare that will go down. Probably will be able to be recovered, as it was just probably some blind fire going through the barricade here for Stigs. Not actually knowing there was a player on the receiving end of that. But it is still some damage being done back towards QConfirm, and something they can work with as Mentalist. You see him up there. He's opening up the hatch, has some support from Mag, hoping that this time there will be no C4 flying through to pick up a double kill in this case.
Well, they get the hatch open. More success than they've had before, and they're able to start pinging down onto the body inside. They want to try and get those frag grenades down against that, but with all the ADSs, it's not exactly the tough and easy prospect. Lusty's here to burn some of those. There's one. There's two. And doesn't catch the far one on the opposite side, but they have the ability to drop that shield. Forces Producer Boom back to, you guessed it, another ADS. Dug in on the corner. They're playing for time and safety here. As I said, they're happy to be aggro on the close corners, as we're about to see another swing round. But Mag is able to get Hajime on the opposite side. And Lycolis isn't successful. Roldini, however, gets a bit of a response and revenge here and rotates all the way back round. C4 still in hand, 50 seconds. And it was a strike around split that was able to cause some destruction and damage. Roldini is responding again and does get caught this time. There's a bit of a quick cover. Lycolis, in the meantime, finally shuts down Stigs on the entrance of blue. The pressure is alleviating and jumping between two different sides and push styles. There's a man close on your left. Lycolis is playing this so aggressively, and he swings again! Yet another time QConfirm have gone, there's a fight here, I want to be a part of it.
Lycolis doesn't care about that smoke. You see it being tossed and he's like, alright, it should be safe from that player. Now he's playing behind that shield now with that shotgun. But instead he just pokes it through the smoke, manages to find a kill nonetheless. And this is like the good old excuse. The smoke is not a wall. Some players will be forcing themselves through it. But QConfirm must be having so much confidence right now as they just make these plays happen time and time and time again. As we go on back to Meeting Hall Kitchen, a site where Fnatic was absolutely hopeless the last time around. Let's see if they're going to be able to pick up a round finally, because they're still on 0 and we're nearing the end of this half. This is the last round for QConfirm on their defense, and if they win this, they only need 1 on their attacks to prove that they're better than Fnatic today.
5-0. QConfirm. It's kind of marvelous how they're playing. You obviously look at, again, like Collis, a 10-2. So if a couple of them have had pop-off rounds, he's decided he wants to have most of the pop-off rounds. And he just keeps playing these games where, as we saw, buried himself in the smoke. He was consistently swinging out against blue. He wasn't waiting for them. And this is what I'm highlighting and talking about, is they're not waiting for the confrontations. They know that some of the benefits that you have when you play against a team like Fnatic, both unfortunately against potentially, you know, they've got a bit of a delay on their ping due to the unfortunate locations, but also their play style is more hesitant, more relaxed across the board, in the sense of they like to get intel, they like to do it step by step, they like to have a little bit more of what is seen as like an NA or a Eurocentric play style, because, well, they've developed it after playing a lot of them on the big stages. And here against a team like this that is just rapidly swinging against you, it's hard to try and get that control back.
A wise man once said, when you're playing up against people with a higher ping than you, it is swing or be swung. And that is exactly what Lycolis is doing. Together with Roldini, absolutely swing out of every corner, every doorway they can find, just to try and get themselves an advantage. It's probably, there will be a Mew Gemmer again, but of course with the Maverick you're going to be easily able to dispatch it. I say that as they struggle actually getting the shot down up to about 7 shots.
Yeah,
but they managed to open it up. And that means the attic might be controlled soon. So Roldini not able to go for a hero play like he did the last time around. He now has to put it into a reverse because they're coming from the tower side.
Yeah, this was obviously where things broke down before. They are more aware of the pressure. And I said taking the tower is often a more consistent way of getting the lockdown. They haven't gone for the body on the opposite side first of all. They're going to see if they can put everything down here, and the frag grenade pops over but doesn't quite catch Producer Boom, who's the one that suffers a shell of the damage. The second lands again, but without any real hit. There is the main stage wall being popped open. Producer Boom doesn't have a C4 anymore, not sure where it got tossed and blown, but Lycolis, who has been consistently swinging on everything, wants to take the fight on the bottom of T3. Producer Boom is there to back him up. As the drone will give the intel that somebody's dropped, you can see Lusty is waiting for the affray, but without the body cleared from above as well, they could just walk into the gun of Roldini. The C4, you are correct, my friend. Lycolis is waiting and baiting.
He's waiting for it. Smokes are being used now to try and stall out as much time as possible. You might be saying, why do you use it now instead of the last 30 seconds? Well, let me tell you, because that means that in the last 15 seconds, they will be trying to push for a plant, and then the C4 comes in. They're all going to be cuddled up together. You're going to be able to get a multi-kill with it. And you see, everybody's trying to challenge because everything comes back to this one C4 that is in the hands of Lycolis, who's playing below that hatch, and the drones have no clue. As long as they do not spot him out, and look at that, Lusty is now going down below. He knows what has to be done. They need to make sure that the C4 will not be played, but with 20 seconds left, they need to go for a plant soon. Here he comes. It opens up. Lycolis decides to then go for the push because he knows it's getting pushed from below. Gets the kill. No, not yet, but the shotgun eventually does, however, get the down together with Roldini, who also managed to get 1 kill in. Fnatic completely being picked apart right here until they finally find a solution, but then Healthcare comes in with a double kill, and Producer Boom clears it up. It's QConfirm with a 6-0. Absolutely reading what Fnatic wanted to do right here. As soon as the Asher's pushing, you saw the push coming up the bottom of the stairs because they knew if we stay here, that C4 is not going to pop. So we have to go aggressive yet again. But what else do we do? We're only going aggressive every single time. It is their forte, and they're showing it perfectly.
It's just one of those days, unfortunately, for Fnatic. They have these. We cited it at the beginning. They'll either have a day where they are Fnatic. They're the team we know, and the team that is so good, so in control, so cool, calm, and collected. And here, they just cannot get a look in. They keep trying to answer the questions of QConfirm, but as quizzical as the Q is, they just haven't got the ability to keep a handle on the players who are so frequently just taking control of space, swinging onto doors, swinging onto entrances, and if anything on that 6th pick is going to give the game away, swinging right on to the site. Hajime to the Ying as a potential end to this 6-0 current. Either way, Fnatic, you have the hardest uphill to do in this game outside of being on a multiple map setup. Good luck.
Seeing the mirror coming out, hoping to be used to stop and slow down the attack of QConfirm. But they bring what we know as the bunker buster. The Finka is there, the Ying will be as well. And then you might be saying, like, but how do those two combine? I am not 100% sure, but I believe that all negative effects get reduced with the Finka boost. And that would also include a flashbang. So if the Candela would accidentally hit one of the teammates, the Ying Adrenaline Surge would be slowing that down. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that. That is my theory behind it. I haven't tested it. Might be good if someone can actually, or if we can test it in the future.
Someone get Reaper on the phone.
Reaper?
Reaper?
Please?
Please?
Reaper?
Need you?
Assemble.
Well, it's just Reaper.
It's just Reaper, but he's like a whole army himself.
Yeah. The 1,000 brains. Wow. 3 bodies holding Freezer stairs there, waiting for somebody to try and cause a fuss, but nobody showed up. So they've pulled themselves back towards blue. QConfirm they're being slow. Weird statement to make. It's the first time we've seen them on the attack, let's be honest. But at the same time, they're droning and moving and droning and moving. They have some angles and some controls. You can see Hajime is just playing towards the corridor around Zulu. But in the meantime, it's droning himself, droning around Freezer, stepping forward. They've generally set themselves very spread out for this approach. The hard destruct gadget's going to be the first to pop off behind Stiggs, and it's going to cause him a little bit of woe, as he's not worked out whether he wants to return back to base yet. He's decided not to, going to stay out, and this means if one person watches the hatch and the other pushes, it can turn in a very sticky situation.
We have an opening coming up. Have to be careful because the last time around we saw, well, there was actually once before, C4 came in, managed to pick up onto the Maverick. So QConfirm that used that trick themselves, so they should be ready for it potentially to be used against them. However, I don't see anybody in position right now to toss in a C4 indeed, as ADSs are being wasted onto 2 hatches, and it shows you that they're preparing to go for this final push with those 3 Candelas. Waste every ADS you can, then start tossing these in, then comes the Finka boost, then everybody starts running in and to try and get a plan down as well. One of the Banshees being destroyed. You see a very methodical game being played right here by QConfirm as they take care of every single piece of utility that might hinder them when they want to go for a push.
Candela's cooked, waited, baited, and 40 seconds. You've got to start releasing them sooner rather than later. Here comes the first. The second is going to try and swing into the body inside the laundry alcove as Producer Boom moves in the flashes behind the back. Stiggs gets the first throughout it, and Producer has to duck, but Roldini is there to put a balance back. There is Tex on the backside, and Roldini for a second. Producer Boom puts a little bit more into the lungs and the blood of all of those on the push, but with Tex getting one more, the trades are happening on every single side. The worry of a split push is this. Things falling apart one at a time. The power of all of that in their veins is able to keep them going, and somehow they get one more pinch. It's a 2 versus 1 now as Lycolis, a man of the moment before, is the only man left in this moment, and he gets caught out by Tex. Dug in. Fnatic waited from every single side. They were assaulted, but luckily from every single side they had a bit of a response.
Have to say, I really liked what QConfirm tried to do right here. You saw them systematically opening up these hatches, checking if there's an ADS by just chucking in a couple of flashbangs. Then the Melusi gadgets, the Banshees, were being spotted. Those that would be hindering them from moving in from Laundry and Freezer were taken out with the S charges. So very methodical approach. Unfortunately for them, not working out. And QConfirm deciding to go for a completely different setup now, so going top floor. We neither see the Ying or we see the Finka coming in. As the Blackbeard was, well, teased to us just a little bit, but turns into an IQ.
A little bit of a change. Dorms on a Blackbeard, okay. Yeah, there's some pretty good places you can hold and set yourself up. It used to be a pretty standard on Old Oregon, to be fair.
What was? Blackbeard?
Yeah.
When was he not standard back in the day?
That's
How far back in the day we're talking?
That's also very fair. Yes, he was everywhere. He had a horrible habit of showing up indoors, outdoors. It's just the only thing he wouldn't do, plant a diffuser.
No, that's, you know, if you have that big shield in front of your face.
The operator physically refuses.
It's probably better as well if you're basically immortal with that shield in front of your face, that you are the one covering rather than planting. But you know, that's just my 2 cents to it.
Calm down, calm down, Zoronic. Has Zoronic ever planted as Blackbeard? Because he is Blackbeard.
I have no clue.
We'll have to ask him.
Well, I'm pretty sure he planted a bomb once in his life, or diffuser rather. Not
once, at least once.
At least once.
He's physically Blackbeard.
I can find this on R6 tab.
Yeah.
I'm gonna R6 tab it.
All right.
Try and find out.
Blackbeard was based on Zoronic, I heard. Like they saw him and they developed it. The same way Mozzie was based on Dez.
He's not Australian though.
That's not the joke I'm making. Roldini is setting himself up in tower and causing problems as he tries to open up attic. Misses the window, a little bit too far away, but concerned. Yet again, QConfirm have gone with a very spread out push. They've separated themselves on a lot of different angles and ideas to get a very quick clear. The only difference here, at least this time, is they've got 3 bodies set up to try and break through Mentalist's hold. The ADS is burnt. Mentalist should take this as a sign that that shield is about to blow too, but he wants to get aggro and he tries it. Doesn't land any of the shots. Somehow, unfortunately, things miss and he somehow slips past, though. The escape comes through. Safe is what an umpire would scream as he's able to get himself all the way back to home with that run. And now Hajime is looking to try and put some pressure on the back. Concerned about the shield, but can't pop it when you're too close to it. So is instead going to crouch walk all the way through and pings another. Still wants to get rid of the shield. If that gets swung on and popped, that can cause big problems for the walk-in push.
The wall will be opened up. Mentalist playing behind the shield, behind the bed. Has the opportunity to put up some pressure. Gets droned, however. Luckily for him, the shield will be protecting his head as that is sticking up above that bed, and that means they need to get some pressure in, but it gets pinged. Unfortunately, they reinforce that wall, so Ash is not going to be able to just get a straight shot in, and that means he needs to take control of Trophy Room first to be able to run in. Drone comes in, but that will be probably giving away the game as well, as Healthgear now slowly tries to sneak in. Still a shield deployed on the other side of things, could be giving away this play as well, as Mentalist right now will be turning his head at the moment the peak comes in. Healthgear will be able to pick up that kill, and that is the opening here that QConfirm was looking for. That means they can now surely push through towards the actual walk-in closet and try and push for a plant in just a little bit.
Well, Lusty's trying to get aggro. We still have a fair few C4 in pocket, I believe, across the board, so they're trying to make use of it, but Roldini's making use of his gun instead. Mag goes down, and there's another, and oh no, Stigs! You were a familiar story of being the only one left alive on the attacks. Now you are the only one left alive on your defense. They're putting the diffuser down. You're in a post-plant situation. You have 40 seconds to get all the kills. You pop yourself some cover, some coverage to move and get away from the danger corner you were otherwise stuck in. There's one on double window. You know that. There's probably one in attic. You probably know that too, and there's probably 2 on the diffuser. Unfortunately, it only takes one of them to end the run of 1, as we see QConfirm pretty expertly, aggressively dispatch a Fnatic that really didn't have a good day at the ballpark.
They really did not have a good day. They avoided the 7-0 to come in from QConfirm, but they couldn't avoid the Brazil, and that means QConfirm is going to be able to move up. Managed to get that win in, and, well, absolutely deserved. They brought aggression everywhere and every single opportunity they could find, and they managed to completely dismantle any setup Fnatic wanted to bring. Except for once, when they were on the attack, that was the one round they lost. It was a good idea behind it. Really liked the methodical setup, but, well, Fnatic got that one. Fair play to them. But besides that, Fnatic absolutely shut down.
Gave it a go. Unfortunately, a go wasn't good enough. QConfirm, you've got a very precious win under your belt. Let's see if you can build for more. First, though, let's head over to the desk and see what they have to say.
Thanks so much, Captain Fluke. Now let's focus on this game because it was